Phoenix, Arizona.
That's the London Bridge.
Not the Eden.
For the London Bridge.
Now, and then we have Skip Hancock, and he's from the state of Washington. There's Washington, D.C. on the East Coast, the state capital. There's the state of Washington on the West Coast, almost bordering Canada. And Spokane. So we came over here to assist and help. I'm not human yet because, but I'm going to have them help. Okay, let's have some of the others that were not here. Eric, introduce this.
Oh, sorry, no show.
Gary was there. He was on the picture.
Yeah, Jim was right.
He's from Ireland.
That's address, Jersey.
Okay, next to have you. Anyone else have?
Yes, sir. Let's say we're going to die on with us.
Oh, yeah.
That's
right. So it's Benedict, that's Diane. And Diane's showing up to be tested tomorrow, right? Then we have Chuck Cole. Then we have Lisa. And Redwood. Neville. Harris.
I think sweet.
Nick Nolte. Or that's thinking of the actor. And I watched it the other day. Attention. Let's go and discuss the historical point of view. What we're doing and what we actually don't. I think sometimes the simplest way things we do should be explained to you so you can compare it to your students. Are you familiar with everything that we're doing now? Let's start from that. And then we've got a lot of time with you. We're going to have a lot of time. I'd like to start off, and I know it's going to be the old one up and then working those things and then add to it. We're going to spend a lot of time with you. Hopefully we get much of what you need on tape so that we can have when we meet. But we're going to discuss other things over and above what we had discussed this morning. One of which is the minor entry, the difference between a minor entry and an angle entry. Some of the, what do you call them, rules that are associated with this. Remember, the rule of walking punch on the inside is what? So we would walk at the elbow or over the elbow. Walk. On the outside, walk below the elbow. I want to trick sometimes I'm doing seminars, like twisting the arms. That's right. Yes. Wrong. And he's right. They feel intimidated. I hate that. If you know for sure, stick to your anyway. Most importantly is principles, concepts. But the most important thing, knowledge of principles is one thing, but the ability to tailor principles is most important. Okay. Now, I think we discussed it in the past. Some schools say, hey, when the elbow reaches where the fist originates, you get, you must turn. Anytime any system or school tells you, you must do something, you must find the closest exit, and there is no system. I have another guy that I was teaching for a while. This guy was impossible. He was so opinionated and stuff like this. He said, there's got to be only one way to do something. No, there's no such thing as one way to do something. You may have a principle in this particular case, but use this as a point of reference as opposed to a point of origin. And what is the difference between a point of origin and a point of reference?
Origin plays position. Point of reference says that.
If I move from here, don't come back. Go up and then forward, go down and then up. That's a point of origin, correct? Then, if I say, hey, when the elder gets to here, let us not use that place as a point of reference, it means in mind. If you have all other alternatives, allowing that point of reference to examine. So now, if I say, hey, turn here, let's see how you feel, how your muscle structure, turn the body feels, the relationship feels like how it feels. And later on, we're going to say, hey, before you get to that point, before the elbow gets there, turn before that, or be later, turn later. Now, we have two others other than the point of reference, correct? Now, were they all different? Were they all different? In terms of its execution? Yes. What was the difference? Timing. The underlying principle of torque has never changed in all three situations. It's the timing of it that has altered, but not the underlying principle itself. And that's the whole thing. Remember, I think I mentioned to you, does gravity work one day and not another? No. All of a sudden you see a guy jumping off the cliff and he's shooting. Well, what is this? You mean Jersey has a place here that defies gravity, or gravity is taking a holiday? You find it later that all it is a hand glide. What's a hand glide? What's the principle of aerodynamics? What's aerodynamics? Then it's explained to us. So the guy was 120 pounds in the left. 8 stone, okay? He's the guy that's floating in there. All of a sudden his friend gets excited. He's 450 pounds. He takes the same hang glider and he jumps. And what happens? All of a sudden, just this gravity works. And really habitual. And what did he feel? Did he unemploy? Gravity having the principle of aerodynamics. What did he feel? Feel the failure of his That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing that knowledge and principle. But more important, your ability to tailor that and work with your students. Oh, you want to run? Okay. I want to sit down and stand. I got to read in front. Okay. Bring up what we're doing.
You're all familiar with it. Okay. The Chinese, this remained, had been ousted one time. And during the Qing Dynasty, the society triads got together and they created this basically hidden salute back and forth each other. And prior to that time, the Chinese martial artists used this, as you see many kung fu using bars of it, right, as their greeting, right, and they introduce a form, arcana, in order to pay respect to the originator of that form, the originator of that system. Fine, and the secret triads took that, added the other two moves to it that we do in the three game part, right, to add meaning of scholar and warrior, and then together.
Walking to battle.
Or back to back, pulling together,
Getting it from where you're
or give the country back to China, put it back in the hands of China. Well, Mr. Parker not being bound by tradition, but yet having the idea that traditions can be useful, took that same idea and decided to keep it, right? The Chinese idea is good, but to blend it and mesh it with the new, right? So from that idea there, he came back and added this part, right? That's his own, personal creation and touch to the art to show that we are our modern art as well as have our links to the originals. This part here, unarmed, empty hands, part. What do you have an idea?
Yeah, for sure, the learning.
Pardon? We stated the learning. A lot of extra pieces we have here. Unarmed, friendly, empty hands. I conceal my treasure, is that in which to use it? But if I should be found, I say a prayer of forgiveness. And then I ask that everyone would include me in their forgiveness for what I've done. And that's the basic idea of it.
depth.
All right. When you think of the depth zone, in the hands, you want to think like those fingers that 3 basic depth zones. So 1 depth zone here, 2 coming back, and 3 close.
That's what I was saying. That's what height zone. We have 3 depths.
Do you see the height zone that you're dropping down? Sometimes we used to think of this as thus being the tiger. Grab. Is it higher? More spiritual? Let's try it again. 1, 2, 4, 5, and
What's the height and the depth zone?
out, down, back, here, drop, drop, up.
In the old days, drop and stay forward.
Drop.
Stay forward. Stay forward. Stay forward. Stay forward. Next.
Listen.
You and that? Jeff, you ready for that?
Oh, okay. Listen. Oh, I got you. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3.
You know what that meant? You know what that meant? You stayed up as supposed to drop the shovel. Huh? Shovel the shovel. You say, hey, I am so good. If there's anyone in your life that questions, I'm staying there and act as a child if you so desire. That's what it meant. So if it didn't drop back, dropping backwards, well, as I am about to perform, I humbly ask you to watch me for whatever I am worth. And we stay up there. I am good. I'm bad. And he's telling you exactly what he told you. I just thought historically you might want to kind of remember that. You know, it becomes interesting to your students. Highlights. Maybe you get to look at it. I have found out later, I go to different seminars, these students are very curious about this. And to my amazement, when you tell them, man, it's sorry enough, you know, so literally, it's about ready to have a fire. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but it seems that, okay? Huh? Okay, one more time with that, then. Any questions of people what means what? There have been others. Why is the left to the right? Yeah, except for the guy who's left hand. Right? And then we got a problem. Can you go right to left if you so desire? Normally most of the right hand. Any questions about this?
When I was in America this year, we bowed, and that was, we said we wouldn't bow in the hands of all objects. Is that standard rule for it?
What's the trick?
To bow to any animal objects. Salute to you.
We don't bow to each other.
No, we don't bow to each other. Bow when we come on the training floor. We bow when we come in out of school, or however you describe it, we bow when we go into a fighting room. Form concept is in a sparring, you salute it. Bow in other objects. Just like I see that a lot. Grading in your classes sometimes when you finish. What do you do? You go up, shake hands, bow. You don't bow. Just keep your eyes down. Salute the handshake. That's what it's called.
What are often and blouses?
Something that life has no life. And that
They are creations of our everything. That is our creations of our everything. See, we are really not creations of our God. We're offspring of our God. The will of our and is a creation. It's not an offspring of our God. We're made like our Anyway, let's take it right to the top.
All right, you got it. Only got to remind those who mentioned people who were here this morning. physical movement on the next idea, and then argue gets real simple. Fine. Up to horse hand. Set. Remember I said set. So back to making it horse. Set. Horse. Set. Horse. Set. We always start here. This is what starts point of origin. Does anybody remember the term point of origin? Convenience source, we should go for that. Everybody understands the basic idea? Good. So keep the idea in mind. All right. Horse. Set. So if you are grinding your arms back, for example, to strike to the rear, right? Then why would you bring your hands forward before you strike to the rear? Or if you wanted to synchronize your arms with your body weight, why would you drop your weight all the way here and then strike? So don't take your hands forward, just go. That's what we always do it now. Right? Move. Set. Move. Set. Just a moment, this one stands for the rest of the video. Right? Move. Set. Move. Set. Move. Set. Move. That's not too bad. But why then? You understand the idea, right? That you don't go this way. Then why do you go this way? You see what I mean by the idea? And you don't take your hands forward, so why take your hands to the side? Just contour your body, drop straight down. Right? Set. Move. Set. Move. Set. Move. Set. Move. Set. Move. Set. Move. Like that. Set. You don't quite have the idea passing on because you're doing this so quickly. This time, what's the difference between the head level of a neutral and cat stand? Right? Keep it the same. Right? Cat. Neutral. Cat. Neutral. Now that you're drawing your foot back to the cat, how many of you are inhaling? Same. Cat. Neutral. Cat. Neutral. Cat. Neutral. Cat. Neutral. Step forward to left.
Okay, before we run through that, if you're going to get the dimensions of a neutral ball or that of a cat stance, how do you get height, width, and depth? Can anyone tell me? How do you, in terms of height, width, and depth, as these stances relate to your body, how do you obtain it? So in the left neutral ball, which you're now at, how do you get the proper width?
Proper width.
Heel.
Toe, meaning?
Front toe.
Anytime you say toe, it means the toe of the forward foot. Okay, it now must be in line with the heel of the right foot. So it's a toe-heel relationship, meaning that the line to the left of your left toe should be in line with the line that's to the, excuse me, the line that's to the right of your left toe should be in line with the line that's to the left of your right heel. Okay, and that's a toe-heel relationship. If you have your right foot on the same line, then we are equivalent to a guy that's on a what? Tightrope. Do you have good balance? No. Is part of balance important in the execution of movements? Yes. Now, the wider you go, is that important too? If you go too wide and have too wide a stance because you didn't get the proper width, can that be a problem? What kind of a problem? Not only that, what else? Exposure. You now become more exposed. Okay, so you want to have that width, so you get a toe-heel relationship. Now, when you were asked to go into, and again, I'm sure you know this, and you say, what the heck, I already know this. How to get a cat stance in terms of height, width, and depth. Can you tell me how you obtain it? A little while ago, you had you go into a cat stance, saying not to elevate yourself in terms of your head, trying to stick to point of origin, which is a very important principle of our art, and getting away from the old John Wayne, why you cock bang. Okay, it doesn't work that way. Okay? Remember what I was told by my attorney or my solicitor. Just remember, when you hit a guy, but opposite, he attempted to hit me first. He made the first attempt. I got the first shot in before he got it out. But I didn't. It's not my problem that he didn't know anything about point of origin. He made the first attempt. I got the first shot in. But according to the law, it's the guy who made the attempt, not the guy who puts the first shot in. At least in the States, it is. Now, if the guy that's suing you dad is the judge, you got a problem. Because now we're talking about politics. Okay.
You didn't answer the question. How do you find the proper height and depth of the cast?
And the back leg.
Well, no, how do you do that?
On the foot to heel. That's the standard not going to.
The lower arm and lower leg, that's probably depth to upper leg, body and rear leg.
How many of you have my body to
I'm
you
going
have a break?
I mean, a plus. This is a geometric symbol which indicates a plus.
When I go heel to heel, meaning this here, in line with this here, I now have widthwise, whether my left foot is on a 90 degree or on a 45 degree, as long as I have this heel butted up against this heel, and even if I have this foot on a 45 degree angle, this gives me the proper width of this particular thing. Where my big toe ends, and some of you have water skis, that's fine. You put where the big toe ends, you mark it with a pencil or a sharp. Okay, where that mark is, that indicates the end of your big toe. You then put this heel on that line. Okay, now this gives you what? Heel butted against heel. So the big toe ends and you go forward, now whatever you think. When you bend comfortably, whatever you height becomes automatic. Once you ascertain width and depth. Do you know that? How to find it?
Yeah, I've never had.
No, I'm saying it's in the book. That's how it goes. I have so much. Or I'm giving you one. Hopefully now you can relate what I've written and what I've said. Oh, no, I know what you're saying. All right.
All right, neutral. No, you get it. When you go back into a neutral, no matter what you do when you practice, don't do this. All right? You don't have time to do it. Don't get much happen. Just go. And if your belt's untied, you got to scratch your head, just forget it. Right? Go. Now, slide back to the cat. Everybody has the proper width, depth, and hopefully the same height. Neutral. Cat. Neutral. Cat. Neutral. So you don't want to take your foot and cross it over. You go straight down. Cat. Neutral. Cat. Neutral. Cat.
Let them now find the depth and the width and depth of this cat stand. Just do it.
Yes. Find the width and the depth of the cat. That's a clear and strong. Good. All right. Neutral. Step forward to right neutral. Cat. Neutral. Cat. Neutral. How many people feel that this is the basic idea of how to make a cat now, baby? How many people feel that they were doing it incorrectly before? Something about it was incorrect. Now you know how to do it better. All right, good. Now that's the whole trick. Cat. Neutral. Cat. Neutral. Cat. Neutral. Again. I'm sorry, what's your name? Pardon? Diane. Yeah. To make sure you don't slide your foot this way, take it straight back. Right? Cat. Neutral. Cat. Right from there, keep your head over cross and step back to left. Good. Now let's see forward go. Neutral. Forward go. Neutral. What's the weight distribution, Gary, in forward go?
It's 70% from the front leg, 50% from the back leg. 60-40.
60-40, you're welcome.
Okay. Now, how do you get the proper width and depth and then height of a forward go? By first finding the proper width and depth of a neutral. Once you obtain that and you shoot your right heel back, what now have you obtained? The width and depth and also height of that, okay? Now, if you were to drop your right knee straight down, okay, what would you then have? A close knee. A close knee is no more than a forward go with the knee of the rear foot dropped in the direction that it's facing. Okay, now go into a neutral bow. Okay, where's your right knee pointed? If you had an arrow that pointed in the direction that knee was facing, where would it point to? Huh? Okay, now if you bend your right knee in the direction that it's pointed toward, go ahead and move. What now have you done? Okay, is that the proper width and depth as it relates to your body? Yes, because you had already gotten the width and depth in terms of your neutral bow. Once you obtain that, and you make that slight modification of the right knee bending in the direction that it's facing, to get it to your white heel stance, you've already got the proper width and depth, and now the height as it relates to that particular stance and your body.
You see that you're modifying the height, you maintain the width and the depth. No stance changes.
This is because of the need for mobility. I had a guy once who came to me in 1957 from Japan, 6'6". He's a tall guy. He got down in such a wide stance and so low he couldn't even move out of his stance. I said, what in the world are you doing? He said, well, in Japan, we all had to have the same level in terms of the head. Everybody had to be the same height. That's ridiculous.
Okay, forward go. Use your, come right from there and drop down and check your heel knee line, the depth of your stance. Check the depth of your stance.
I know this is old hat to you, but it's so important that you pick up these finite points because you've got to pass this kind of information on to your students. Okay?
Big feet good. Again, step back a little. Set. Feet good. Step me back to the left. Left neutral. Left neutral. All right. Feet good. Any other question on the stance? Stand up. Horse.
Coming to the set pendulum stance from the neutral, is it not better to draw back, create more distance? Or?
Versus stepping forward?
Yeah.
Or you can do either one as you need to. All right, let's just try to touch the point. All right, step back, but see, you all have an idea what the neutral is. I'm not going to touch on this quickly, but you should take a moment to think that when you step back to your neutral, how did you get there? Not just that you're there, but actually how did you get there? In other words, watch your students and yourself. You know, is your hand going this way? Is your hand going that way? Are your hands going this way? Where does your right arm go exactly? How does it travel? The path that you travel? What does it do when you finally get there? Is it here, 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 here? How did it get to that point? Are you crossing your arms when you get there? So you're picking up the width of your own body? Are you leaving yourself exposed? How far away is your elbow away from here? All those things can be fit in there. Right? Set. Step back a little. Set. Step back to the right. Set. Feet together. Horse. Set. Feet together.
What again makes it left neutral or right neutral? What does it indicate? That the lead leg for right neutral is your right. That's all you got to remember. Anytime it's the right neutral bow, it means it's the right leg that's the lead leg, or vice versa.
All right, now we do upper references for right now. Move. 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 How many people are inhaling before they punch? Think about it, right? This is go. Move. 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 You think about the principles that went when we do this in reverse, right? That was contrary. Going in reverse. The reverse of this is this. So you're going to contour on the way out. Move. 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 Move.
So now you hear this swishing. What does that indicate to you? What are you doing? You're tracking your own body, which is a form of contour.
How many people are doing that in reverse too at the same time? Reverse. Good. All right, two hands. Move. 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 You get an extension of that? With the horizontal punch. Move. 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 Vertically. Move. 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 Every time you move your shoulders from now. You're trying to maintain the point of reference for everything you're doing. Move. 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 knuckles, the big knuckles. Right? Move. 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 Now snapping. Move. 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 Snap it all the way back to hip now. Move. 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 Horizontal snapping. Move. 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 Go. Move. 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 Hey. Go. Move. Move. Keep getting.
Okay. When do you use a horizontal fist as compared to a vertical fist?
Different heights of the person.
Once you go above the level of your shoulders, normally it'd be best for you to do what?
If you go higher to use it vertical.
And why is that?
Because then you get back up mass.
Plus,
The angle.
the angle does not include your left, these knuckles being made to hit the object first. Remember? Because at a certain point, these knuckles are in lead of your action. Unless you make this, you're going to have a problem because this may hit before that. Unless you're going under the chin with accuracy, knowing that it's going to miss fine. Okay, and these little minor points, another minor point which we discussed. Show the finer points there. Because at the moment, she really has no muscles involved to brace her in terms of supporting her stance. When the toes are slightly turned in, she now has brought these muscles into play. And now she becomes a dead weight. And it stabilizes your base. Minor, but even those finite points should be adhered to, if at all possible. Because if we can work at our maximum, with all these little finite points becoming a part of us, and then conveying it to our students, become much more polished with this. Okay?
Are you good? That in mind then, step back and let it go. Then we'll do stepping through forward. Move. Move. Move.
Okay, when you come forward, you go on the ball of your foot or the heel of your foot? You go ball of the foot.
We were
Because
talking
you notice
about,
how, like going on the ball, going forward, you're closing the what? Okay, closing the game.
we were talking about point of origin, right? And just going. Almost every single one of you, when you moved that time, this is what you did.
You spread your leg.
One and two and three instead of just going. Right? It's a complete failure.
After your body has reached a certain point, some of you, what he's saying is you're turning your foot out first before you're making your initial step. That's a move, that's an extra move that we're trying to eliminate.
You understand that? Let's try that. Ready? Move. Move. Not quite.
Yeah, much better.
Move. Now reverse. Move. 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 Watch your breathing. Move. Moving forward. Conscious of the front foot. Move. Move. Not quite, man. See, can you feel it? You're doing this, man. Still turn your foot and then move. And then move your hand.
Some of them are not turning your foot,
Yeah.
they're moving your foot. Yeah, you're moving your foot, not only turning.
What you're doing is taking your lead foot, you're doing this. And then you're moving your back foot. Instead of just starting with the back foot and going.
You pivot after your body comes to a certain point where it turns to the other 45-degree angle.
Move. Then, now watch it on this side, because this is the one that you're weakest on. Move. Yeah, now you're aware of it. Like, move. But the whole idea is to be able to keep the body there in sync at the same time. Right? So that back trick's all hitting at the same time. Reverse. Move. 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 Now move forward again. Switch controls forward again. Switch controls. Move. Move. Now you forgot about what he said. You're going up and down. Up and down. Right? Move. Move. Move.
Remember that point of origin takes it in all dimensions. You don't go up before you come down. You don't move to the left or right before you come forward. You don't drop down and then up. You don't drop back before you come forward. Don't move forward before you go back and then forward. These are all the things that you must remember. And I know it's difficult because some of us have gotten into these habits and not even aware of the fact that we're doing it. But that's what that camera over there is for. Try to use that. That's an excellent tool in really doing your movements and having it be used in the slow-mo and seeing these little idiosyncrasies that you have and don't think you do it. That's all.
I can give you a personal example of this simple movement, why I stress it so much. Mr. Parker is aware of one of my students, third degree, Daryl. And he's good. The guy is 250 and moves like a cat. He's strong. And
He's like a bull.
He is. But when we first sparred together, when he was already a black belt, he could never hit me with a kick. And he was good, and I'm not that good, you know, but all it was is every time he went to kick, what did he do? Turn his foot so I wasn't there. You see? Then you want to know why. Then he wanted to do it. All right, reverse. Whoop. 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 Move. One time, coming forward. Bouncing head on the horse. Right. Whoop. Turn your foot, Gary. Move. 1, 2. Move. Walk down. Move. Reverse. Move. 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 Watch your breathing. Move.
Now some of you are pivoting on your heel, going halfway and then pivoting on the ball of your foot. You say, hey, I'm going to have a Star David and a cross so that when I die, I'm covering all the angles, you know.
Do the same feel now. Then as you come forward, you see that it's tracks in. That's the extension of the right here. Boop. Retracts it forward. Boop.
Do you go up before you come down? See, now, some of you guys are having that habit again. You're kind of reminding me of the boys in Hollywood. Please, I've seen enough of it.
Again.
You maintain the same level as you come forward.
Come forward again. Boop.
Yes. Okay, remember, the level of the ceiling has lowered down to the present level of your head. And no matter if you try to elevate yourself, think of the ceiling being at that present level of where your head is. And you couldn't possibly go beyond that, okay? That's all you have to remember. The ceiling being lowered to the present level of your head where it's at now. And you can't, in any other way, elevate yourself. Okay,
Again, coming forward. Boop.
Come
down.
Much better.
Reverse now. Boop. Better. Keep your eyes up the field. Boop.
Now, how many of you remember about the gyro on the ship's compass? Can you remember that? When we discussed the gyro on the ship's compass in volume 2? The gyro pretty much stays parallel with the horizon. It keeps that compass on an even level keel. Okay, when your body moves under you, try to move so that the body moves, but the head is like a gyro. You don't turn, if at all possible. I know it's difficult to remember all these finite points, but I gotta tell you, that's what spit shines. Man, when I was in England, when we went over to London yesterday, man, I looked at the guard, you know, I never saw shoes that shiny. That guy must have spit shined those shoes, because, well, man, it was just immaculately shiny. And that's the same thing, that's all we're doing. We're trying to spit shine the music. Minor as it may seem to you, it's a major thing in terms of getting the kind of speed you want. A lot of people say, well, how come you're fast for yourself? All of these points are brought into play simultaneous with other things that we'll discuss. In terms of complete relaxation, that when the skin kisses skin, that's when tension takes place. You know, I'm part Portuguese, so I can say this. How can you tell when a Portuguese got in an automobile accident? There are no skid marks. He hits and then, oh, what happened? Okay, there are no skid marks. Likewise, when I throw my ball, I don't want no skid marks. I don't want to go show skid marks before I hit my target. So the idea is when skin kisses skin, tension takes place. When it's gone beyond that which you've done, then don't make it a push, but relax and come back down. That's how you get tension and relaxation in between. What is the saying that we have about intermission?
Strikes are nothing more than intermissions of relaxation.
Listen to what I just said. I mean, he said, in terms of what I wrote. Strikes are no more than intermissions of relaxation. Right? This is relaxation. Bam! strike is an intermission, and then you're back to relaxation. Okay.
Okay? That's it. Coming forward, you have to grab.
Move. Move. So you're still elevating yourself. Remember about the ceiling being lower to your level of the head right now. No matter what you did, when you bring your right foot to your left, you still maintain the same level. I know it's kind of a handicap maybe, but I gotta tell you, your transition of movement will be a lot more flowing and fluid when that is done.
You know, this is a shuffle, not 1, 2, 3. It's moving and shuffling your body forward. Move. Move. Reverse. Move. 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 Move.
Okay, let's go back, and now go back to the difference between switching and covering. Okay? I know we've discussed this in the past, and I know some of you, well, the heck, we're here to learn some new stuff. You will. Before the night is over, there will be a lot of stuff in the deck. But why learn new things if you haven't overcome the problems that which is old? Okay, you've got to overcome those. Now, what do we just say right now?
Thanks for being covered.
Yes. What is it? Can some of you tell me the difference between a switch and a cover? Is there anyone who would like to explain?
Switch is an in-place stance change facing the same direction.
During the course of your in-place stance change, what takes place? Altering of lead leg. There's a difference of lead legs. So if your right foot is forward, when you switch, you end up with your left leg as being the lead leg while still facing the same direction and basically remaining on the same spot. When you do a cover, what then happens? We are altering lead legs, but also altering what? Direction. Why is it that we do move the forward leg off to the opposite side as we then turn and face the opposite direction in the course of cover?
Move off the central line, because your hospital column is no longer...
What else?
Move away from the unknown.
Right. When you not only move out of the center line, but do you not fade away from the action so that you create distance? Right foot forward. Okay, now, if Skip used his left foot to shift over as he faces the other direction, he's really moving toward his student or opponent, and you want to move away from it. Let me tell you what happened with one of our black belts. Some of you, I think Ed had